Getting older, aren't we all, if we're lucky? So today I'm sharing a dozen tips to help you age gracefully and positively. Today's video is sponsored by ZIIP. Hello, my name is Kay and this is Dress for My Day, and this is a bonus video. I normally upload videos every Wednesday, but here I am on a Saturday. I just wanted to say hello to you this weekend. I have some great tips for you to help you age gracefully and positively. Actually, I've done several videos like this, so these are new tips. If you'd like to hear more of what I have to say about aging gracefully, positively, beautifully, I'll give you links to some other videos below that will also cover that topic. But today I'm sharing a dozen, I think, kind of brand new tips for me at least, to help us all age well. Now, first of all, let me give you a little bit of my philosophy of aging. I think aging is beautiful. The alternative is not so good, right? So aging is a good thing, and I believe in pro-aging. I believe in not trying to look younger, but simply trying to look our best, presenting the best version of ourselves. I believe in staying relevant, staying youthful, staying vibrant, and staying engaged in this world. So the tips that I'm sharing with you today, they're kind of all over the place. They're not in any particular order, but they do cover beauty, physical fitness, engagement, lifestyle, and inner beauty. For my first tip, I want to share with you a new product I've been trying from our sponsor, ZIIP Halo. This is the ZIIP Halo device. They've had a similar device in the past, but they've recently launched this new version. And this is my first time to try a technological skincare treatment. So my first tip is to take advantage of skincare technology and science and try something new that really could benefit you. Now, I'm showing you here my before pictures. These are before I ever used the ZIIP Halo. I have been using it for a little over a week, and I think I've used it about a half a dozen times at this point. But in the video I'm showing you today is the first time I used the ZIIP Halo treatment, and it was so easy. It uses two different kinds of currents. So the microcurrents are the instant effect, or the electrical waveforms that you can feel, and you do feel a little tingle as you're using the device. It does not bother me. It's just something to kind of get used to, but you definitely do feel it. And they work on a muscular level to lift and tone. So it's just kind of like a workout for your face. And it's going to give you immediate results. It's going to give you a lifted appearance, smooth lines, and more definition in your face. But ZIIP Halo also has a nanocurrent. And this is their secret power that gives you lasting results. You can't feel the nanocurrents because they work on a cellular level to repair and rejuvenate your skin from within. And you're going to see those results about 6 weeks later, but honestly, I think I've already started to see some. They're going to leave your skin more toned and contoured, help your complexion be more glowing, give you balanced, smooth skin, and reduced wrinkles and lines. The ZIIP Halo, of course, comes with a charger for the device, and it comes with this great little startup information, so everything you need. But what you're going to want to do too is download the app on your phone or your mobile device, and it's very easy to use. There's just no struggle with it whatsoever. You'll choose a program there that you can use, and you can use a number. They have a number of different workouts, I guess you'd say, for your face. But I went with the first one, and I've just been using it all 6 times so far. And just remember, the more regular, the more consistent you are with using the device, the better results you're going to get. Before I use the device, I'm going to use some of their gel that also comes with the product, and then you can reorder supplies of that. But this little gel is what's going to help the device create the currents. And so you definitely need to apply about 4 to 8 pumps of the gel all over your face. When I hook it up, turn it on, it's going to beep and light up. That means it's ready to go. I put it on my face and start moving it. It'll buzz every time it's time for me to pick it up and move it again. And so I just follow along with a little program on the app. She tells me what to do. She's very friendly, and I really liked using the device. Like I said, it takes a little getting used to, but it's really nothing that you can't deal with. And it takes me 4 minutes to do this particular program. I do 2 minutes on each side. The device beeps twice when it's time for me to switch sides. Then the device beeps and goes off when it's done, and you're done. You're just going to wipe the device down with a clean, soft towel, and I just store it in that little towel there at my vanity, and it's just so simple. Let me show you the results that I've gotten. I was so surprised. Now, James and I worked really hard to make sure we took these photos in the same kind of lighting, wearing a white shirt, using the same headband, everything. I tried to hold my face the same, and I was so surprised. Look at the before, look at the after, and you can see that indeed my skin looks tighter, it looks less puffy. I have a little bit less lines and wrinkles in some places. I definitely have more contouring right around the jawline. I have less defined jowls. I hate that word, but there you go. I think my jowls have kind of shrunk a little bit, so I really love that. I'm just definitely seeing some definition, so I am going to keep using this product. You can get your own ZIIP Halo through the link below. Be sure to use that link and you'll be able to shop it through the LTK app. Also, I'll also give you my link to LTK. I love using LTK for shopping everything that I show, because I also, of course, show things on Instagram and on my blog and here on my YouTube channel, but everything is in the LTK app. So if you're ever needing a link from me, that's the best place to look, the best place to shop. ZIIP is also offering you a coupon code, so my viewers can use code ZIIPK for 15% off of the device and the gels this week at ZIIP. Now, after a week, the coupon code goes down to 10%, but that's still great savings. So if you're watching this a month out or so, you still get 10% off with code ZIIPK, that's ZIIPKAY, at their website, and you will get that savings. My second tip for aging positively and gracefully actually piggybacks on the last one, and that is simply to keep up with technology. Now, take it from somebody who deals with technology in her job every single day, and sometimes my whole world crashes because of technology. Have you ever had that happen? I hate it some days. But then again, I'm so thankful for all the things that technology makes possible these days. And ladies, it's here to stay, or rather, it's here to progress. It's just going to keep getting more and more. We're just going to have more and more technology, and we have a decision to make at this point. Will we get left behind and always have to call a grandchild or a child to help us out? Or will we learn how to deal with it? You know, I have a son who's a software engineer, and when I first began blogging and YouTubing, I would call my son or text my son and ask him for help. And you know what he always said? I mean, he's a genius. He's a software engineer, and yet he always said to me, "Mom, Google it." Or put it in the YouTube search engine. The answers are out there and you can teach yourself. And you know what? He's right. And the more I look for those answers myself, I find them, then it really does help me. It makes me feel powerful, and it makes me feel positive about technology instead of feeling negative about it. And I think that's so important for aging gracefully and positively. My third tip is to move every day. Recently, I had the opportunity to speak to a group in Eastern Ohio, and there was also a physician there speaking. She was a lovely, beautiful woman, and she gave some just, general physical healthiness tips. And one of the main tips she gave was, ladies, we have just got to keep moving every day. She suggested a 30-minute walk every day. Every day, every day. So no matter what you do, whether you're really doing a lot of exercise or weightlifting or, aerobic, really fitness type stuff, at least get out and move 30 minutes every day. So I am really trying to make that happen. I think it is so important that we do that. Some of the ways we can do that are take the stairs, park out a little further, and just take time during our day to get up and move. Tip number 4 is kind of like that, and that is, yes, you do have to lift some weights. I know a lot of ladies who do the moving part, but we have got to do the weightlifting part too. That good physician also pointed out that we begin losing muscle mass drastically in our 40s and early 50s. We're going to lose it fast, ladies, if we don't do something to actually build muscle. So it's really important that you do some weight-bearing exercises like maybe push-ups or, deep knee bends or something like that, but also do some weightlifting. Just get you some dumbbells of a size that you feel like you can handle, but I do encourage you to push yourself a little too. Try harder, like maybe go up in weights. Maybe it is time to buy a new set of heavier weights, just 5 pounds heavier than what you have now, and try to build some more muscle. Muscle mass is going to help with our posture, it's going to help with our joint protection, and it's also going to help with metabolism, which of course so many of us have run into a slow metabolism. Building muscle will help. I have one more tip from the good doctor that I met that night, and that is to take the right supplements. Now, I'm not a doctor, but she is one, and she suggested just 3 things. Other than this, she suggested, of course, that you check with your healthcare provider and make sure you're taking the right things, but she did recommend 500 milligrams of calcium for all women. She recommended 1,000 to 2,000 IUs of vitamin D. I go for the 2,000. And then she said just a good multivitamin for your age group. So those are exactly the things I take, are a vitamin D, a multivitamin, and calcium. But I also make sure you check with your healthcare provider to make sure there aren't any alterations that you need to make to that recommendation, depending on the medications that you already take. Another tip for aging gracefully and positively is to get the health screenings that we need on the regular basis. I always wonder, what are those? What exactly do we need on a regular basis? So let me read these off to you. Our blood pressure, of course, should be checked yearly, or if we have high blood pressure or blood pressure problems, we need to check it more often, but at least yearly. For 50 to 75, you need to have a mammogram every 1 to 2 years, depending on your risk factors, of course. We still need to have a pap test up to age 65 every 3 years or more, depending on your risk factors. We need a cholesterol check every 5 years if your cholesterol is generally normal, but if you have a high cholesterol reading, you're going to need to have it checked more often than that. When we're 45 to 75, we need colon cancer screening every 1 to 10 years, depending on the kind of test that you use. Of course, there are all different kinds of colon testing now. You need to know which kind you've been using and gauge it appropriately. We need to have diabetes testing every 3 years once we're this age. We may need to make sure we have our dental exams twice a year. I have mine 3 times a year because I have some problem gums. Our eyes need to be checked at least every 1 to 3 years, depending on our circumstances, once we're 55. We also need to be checked for osteoporosis once we're 55 years old, and we need to do that as often as our doctors suggest, depending on your risk factors. Of course, we need just an annual checkup. We need to have skin exams yearly, especially if you have pre-existing risk factors, but probably a lot of us spent so much time out in the sun when we were younger, it does us good to get those screenings every year. Have you had all your screenings? Are you up to date? Maybe you need to make an appointment today. My next tip for aging positively and gracefully is to develop a certain kind of relationship. I encourage us to develop what I call listen and learn relationships. Now, these are not just your normal friendships where you have that casual banter. I encourage us to seek out some new friendships, some new relationships with people maybe who are a little different from us, and really make it an effort to listen to them. Learn their story, ask questions, ask their opinions, let them share, and listen and learn. We've got so much listening and learning to do with the people around us. I think that will keep us more relevant. It keeps us more aware of the culture around us. This doesn't mean we have to let people necessarily influence us or change us. It just means we keep an ear to the culture, an ear to the people around us, and we really lean in, listen, and learn. Tip number 7 is to volunteer in your community. I believe we'll age more gracefully, more positively, if we stay involved in the community around us. And of course, I'm a firm believer in volunteering in your church. I am pro-church. I am pro-involved in being in your local church. But I do think it's a good idea to be salt in the world, light in the world. So I think it's smart to think of ways to volunteer in our community, maybe with the school system around you, maybe in the public library, maybe a little league team, maybe a clothing bank or food drive, or maybe the polling booths for the next election. Those are just a few ways to volunteer in your community and to stay engaged. Tip number 8 has to do with relationships again, and it is to spend more time with other positive women. You know what, ladies, we need to pick our friends carefully, and sometimes we have friends who are negative. That's fine. We're still going to love them. We're still going to spend time with them. But I do think it's better to spend more time with women who are positive, who are maybe doing some of these things I named. Maybe they are still learning, they're still listening, they're still learning about technology, they're staying engaged, they're involved in their community. Those are the women we want to rub shoulders with, and we want to let them rub off on us. Tip number 9 is go outside. I think just getting some good fresh air every day, some sunlight if you have it, is so good for us. Getting outside is so smart. I follow another influencer on Instagram, I'll try to link her below too, who every day she asks, have you gone outside today? And she makes it a point to get outside, and it really rubbed off on me because that's positive and I think that's a good idea. I love getting outside just to get a little fresh air. Sometimes I just go sit on my front porch. There's no seat out there, just on the steps, just sit on the front porch a little bit, get some fresh air, maybe walk around my backyard, take that walk in your neighborhood, get outside. If you get about 15 minutes of unfiltered sunshine every day, that will help you get some natural vitamin D, which is really important. Breathing that fresh air is so important too, and a little sunlight early in the morning, and then maybe going outside in the evening as the sun begins to go down, can really help set your body clock so that it will help your sleep patterns too. Tip number 10 is to change your makeup application some. You know, as we get older, we do have to change some things. So I encourage you to kind of keep that fluid and be looking for new ways to update your makeup. So a few things I've learned to do as I've gotten older is to shape my eyebrows, take the time to shape my eyebrows, pencil them in. I actually use a little putty type thing to do mine. I will link that below. It's called Dip Brow, so I'll give you the link to that below and a little brush. But I shape them and I make sure I put the arch towards the outside of my eye, not right at the top, because when you put it right above your iris, you're gonna look surprised all the time. But if you put the arch out a little bit, make sure you put a little arch. It's actually going to lift your face visually, I guess. And so that can be so helpful. Another good thing to do as we get a little older is to make sure that we are making our lips look as large as we can. So outline them, but go outside your lip to line your lip, then bring that lip pencil in. Don't just line the outside, bring it in and color in there, then apply some pretty lipstick, some gloss. When your lips are accentuated a little bit, makes your eyes shine a little bit more, really helps with that makeup application. So think about some ways that you might need to update your makeup application. It really can help you to age a little bit more gracefully and positively. Tip number 11 is to forgive. You know what? That's what grace is, right? Grace is showing someone forgiveness. It's giving someone what they don't deserve, but that you have to offer to them. So we cannot possibly age gracefully and positively if we're not willing to forgive. So my question to you would be, do you have some bitterness in your heart? Bitterness shows up, ladies. One thing that I can tell you from being in ministry alongside my husband for the last 35 years is that what's inside does show up on the outside. We know that for everybody, right? What's inside comes out on the outside. But as we get older, it shows up even more. So if we are carrying around bitterness or self-pity or regret or anger, then it really shows up on our faces, in our posture, just in our demeanor as we get older. So I encourage you to think about forgiveness, and if there is someone in your life that you need to offer forgiveness to. And I can link you to a video below that I did about forgiveness if you need a little bit more help with that. And tip number 12 is simply to get dressed for your day. I am such a firm believer in that I named my blog and my YouTube channel Dress for My Day. I believe that when we get dressed for our day, we show up, we are more positive, we are more radiant, we have a little bit more self-confidence. And when we have that kind of self-confidence, that kind of radiance, we're able to engage with the world. And that's what we're here for, ladies. We're not just here to take up space. We're here to do a little good. We're here to speak something good and positive and encouraging to those around us. And we're more likely to do that when we take a little time to take a shower, put on some makeup, do our hair, and get dressed in something that makes you feel authentic to who you are, but also modern and relevant and makes you feel like your best version of yourself. So those are my 12 quick tips for aging gracefully and positively. So don't forget to go to the link below and check out ZIIP and the Halo device. Use that code ZIIPK, Z-I-I-P-K-A-Y, for 15% off this week or 10% thereafter. Thanks so much for joining me for this bonus weekend video, and I will see you again on Wednesday. Bye now.